Hello to all you Gramophone fans. We're excited to see you today because today we've got a really unique product. We're here with David from NAD to talk about the C3050 receiver. David, how are you?
Not bad, Joe. Yourself?
Good. Thank you for making the trip down from Canada to be with us. Okay. We appreciate it. So if you can, just tell us a little bit about NAD.
Sure. It's actually a pretty fascinating story. The company was originally founded in 1972 by a bunch of European distributors that really weren't happy with what was going on in the marketplace and basically pooled their resources and to create the company. So it was actually founded by 6 European distributors in 1972. They, then started on to develop products, made a number of hugely iconic products. The 3020 is one of them for sure. It sold well over 1 million amplifiers, is still one of the best-selling consumer electronics of all times and very, very influential. But then in 1999, Lenbrook bought the company, and so it's been a Canadian company since the late 90s. It's one of the things that we've always prided ourselves on is, I'll call it intelligent engineering, and I'll call it, putting all the money inside. NAD's kind of renowned for not having, let's say, the flashiest looking product out there, because we like to put the value inside where it really counts, as opposed to adding a lot of bells and whistles and unnecessary features that just add cost, but not necessarily sonic performance. So,
great bang for the buck.
A lot can happen in 50 years through successes, hard work and dedication. When knowledge, experience and preparation meet opportunity, a product comes along that can revolutionize your world. Introducing the NAD C3050. A stereophonic amp that combines the vintage-inspired design of the 1970s era with the modernity of the full high-res, multi-room streaming capabilities of BluOS and Dirac live room correction, and jam-packed with 50 years of NAD engineering prowess, iconic sound, retro-inspired. Learn more at nadelectronics.com/C3050.
So, David, this is a really unique looking product, and I would think that there's probably an interesting story behind the product development process that happened with this one. So maybe you can talk just a little bit about why you did it, the consumer you were thinking about, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, we developed it. It's a very unique look from our current generation of product, and it really is to celebrate our 50th anniversary. We had the 3050 LE, and this is the version of it that'll be much easier to get. It's not a limited edition, and it really is an homage to our early generation of products. And we take a lot of styling cues from those original products, but we put all the latest and greatest features inside, so you get all the benefits that 50 years of history have taught us.
It's a tremendous amount of product for the money.
We always try and engineer as much value into the product as we can to give people the features that really are helpful and beneficial and they can use every day, versus features that you might play with the day you get it and then never touch again.
Can you tell us a little bit about the modular design construction that you did here?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a philosophy that NAD's always had, going back to its early roots of a building block style design, so that you weren't locked into, I'll call it a feature set or a power number. You had the ability to build on a system and let it grow as your needs changed. And modular design construction, or we shorten it to MDC, is a big part of that. It allows somebody to buy a product today and then on the 2-channel world add new inputs, features that maybe they didn't have a need for when they bought the product, but instead of them having to go out and buy a whole new product again, they can very simply add a card to the product and then add new features and benefits. On the 2-channel side, on our AV products, it's actually about preventing the product from going obsolete. It can actually upgrade the product so that as different formats and features come out, they can continue to build it. And we've been doing it for 15 years now. So it's pretty neat to say to somebody that they can buy if they had a 10-year-old AV receiver, change out a couple of cards and be able to Atmos 4K, Dirac, BluOS, and all those little things in what technically in the old days would be an obsolete product.
So somebody that doesn't maybe quite have the money to buy what they'd really love to have can buy most of the performance right now, and then a few paychecks from now, that bonus at Christmas from now, they can upgrade the product and get even more satisfaction.
Precisely, or if their needs change 3 years from now, They don't have to go, spend all that money all over again. It's a, simple card upgrade. And on the 2-channel products, I jokingly say if you can turn a Phillips screwdriver in 2 different directions, you can then upgrade the product yourself. So it doesn't need to go to a service center to be done.
So David, this is a really impressive sounding product for the money. It sounds great. Maybe you can just take us through some of the things that our consumers will want to know about the power supply, the quality of the power, its stability. Just touch on the DAC briefly, some of the things why this product sounds as great as it does.
Yeah, NAD has always prided itself on building really good quality amplifiers, ones that really perform well. So we always put beefier power supplies and things. A lot of people used to say that we underrate our amplifiers, which is a little misleading. We actually call it full disclosure power. So any power number we put to a product, it's a real world number. The specifications that most manufacturers follow, I'll call it, are very loose, but they don't necessarily equate to what you get in the real world when you take a product home. So when any power number you see from NAD might look a little lower than some other manufacturers, but it's a real world number. It's always the full frequency at the rated distortion, with both channels driven. A lot of products will only be a single channel driven. And so, people say it's, only 100 watts or it's 50 watts, but it's an NAD 100 watts. We don't have our own measurement system. We just give you the most accurate number we can give you.
And what about the DAC inside this one?
We always use a very high quality DAC, different DACs. And also the nice thing about NAD is we have a lot of very, very clever engineers, and they know how to write the software for DACs as well. So we can squeeze out the maximum performance from any DAC that we use.
Because it sounds great, not only on the analog sources, but also on the digital ones too.
It's completely full featured. It has analog inputs, digital inputs, phono stage. And then the other nice thing about it as well is it actually has Bluetooth and AirPlay as well. So you have out of the box, you have a lot of great streaming services to pick from. It uses what we call HybridDigital Amplifier technology, which it's not digital in the sense. Class D amplifiers often get mistaken that the D stands for digital. It's really a switching power supply. It makes it very, very efficient. But part of the platform that we use and the benefits to it and why it sounds so good is in traditional amplifiers, the speaker would change impedance as it played different notes and different frequencies. And that would affect the way that the amplifier would perform as well. And that was the days when you had to do system matching and people would say, well, you don't want to pair this speaker with that amplifier, or that amplifier is amazing with this speaker. It was really about finding the synergy between the products. With our hybrid digital platform, that no longer becomes necessary. You can put this amplifier on almost any speaker you can find, and it'll sound amazing because the amplifier no longer reacts to what the speaker is doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. And one of the flexibilities you can add in the future is Dirac, and which has amazing benefits that just didn't exist not all that long ago.
Yeah, it's an amazing technology. So the MDC, or the Modular Design Construction card you can add to this, adds our BluOS high-resolution streaming platform, but also gives you the ability to Dirac room correction, probably the best room correction system in the world. It's about the only one, there might be one other one that actually corrects for timing and phase. And that's really the last frontier in getting the best out of a system is, no matter how good your speakers are and how good the amplifier is, if you put it in a terrible sounding room, it'll sound terrible. And the only way to fix that is either, rearrange the room and do treatments and things like that. And that's really not always desirable in I'll call it normal living space. Great if you have a dedicated listening room, but very few people can do that. Dirac really does fix the room and gives you the absolute best performance out of what you've bought. Yeah, it's a very sophisticated system that's actually not difficult to do. You can do it from a PC or a Mac computer, or they even have mobile versions as well, so you can do it from your phone. It walks you through all the steps. On a 2-channel system, it might take you 10, 15 minutes at best, and the changes can be very dramatic.
So David, let's talk about the back panel, because this is pretty full-featured in terms of benefits for the consumer. And one really simple one that you don't often see at this kind of price range is an IEC socket. Now, you guys pack a pretty beefy power cable in with this, but the consumer can easily upgrade to a better one. And you can't do that if the
No, you can't. So we like to give people those benefits as well. It's such a simple thing, but it does make the product easier to use, even easier to put in a cabinet if you have a small hole or grommet you need to poke the power cable through. It makes it a little easier for people to manage. And then on the audio side, we have a ton of both physical and streaming options as well. And some of them are, say, maybe a little more unusual. We give you the traditional phono stage, analog inputs, digital inputs, but we give you an HDMI eARC as well. So if you have a great TV and this is part of a bigger system where you add some video to it, the HDMI eARC input will allow you to watch your Netflix or whatever your streaming service is on your TV and take advantage of having a really nice pair of speakers, as opposed to relying on the built-in speakers of the flat panel display, which realistically typically aren't that great.
Tiny.
Very tiny speakers. And so that takes care of the physical side. On let's call it the non-physical side, or the streaming side, we actually have AirPlay to two-way Bluetooth, which is kind of a neat feature where you can send audio out of the product into a pair of wireless headphones or earbuds. So if somebody doesn't want to be disturbed or it's late night listening, it gives you the ability to take advantage of that. And then the NDC slot that we talked about a little bit earlier allows you to add a BluOS module to it. BluOS is our high-resolution streaming platform. It gives you 24-bit 192K audio and tons of different streaming services to choose from. And now you really are controlling everything through your smartphone or tablet. And it really is a great system. It allows you to go out to multiple rooms so you can add products to it to build a whole home audio system.
A lot of folks these days are doing streaming, but oftentimes people don't realize just how good streaming can sound. And unless you have a platform like BluOS, you don't know.
Yeah, BluOS is the original and pretty much I'll call it the largest high-resolution streaming platform that's available. We have past and present over 70 different products that all use the exact same app. So you can really build a very impressive system either in one room or throughout every single room of your house, all from a single platform.
And the BluOS app is pretty easy to use as well, so consumers love that.
Yeah, I like to say we're an audio company that learned how to do software, and along the way we've got a lot of learning. BlueSound and BluOS is over 10 years old now, so it really has I'll call it a lot of good history and learnings behind it.
We hope you've enjoyed our tour of the awesome NAD C3050 receiver, and David, thank you very much for all your help. You can learn more about all of our great brands at Gramophone.com and shop Sky by Gramophone, where you can buy with secure checkout, fast and free shipping straight to your door. We're also going to put our social media links below, so please check those out. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel and ping that little bell icon so that you're notified of future content that we're going to post. Make an appointment to see the Gramophone Experience Center directly across from the Gramophone Timonium location. You will be amazed at some of the quality of product that you see and the beautiful design that surrounds it. We have stores in Timonium, Columbia, and Gaithersburg, Maryland, and we'd love to see you come visit us. Don't forget about the Kitchen Design Center up in Hunt Valley if it's time to redo your kitchen. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you soon.